Hi, everyone, and welcome to our third Zoomcast of the second draft. My name's Alex, and today I'm joined by Maria, Stephen, and Sandra. And what we're going to focus on today is we're going to focus on passion. And what is it? What is passion really? If you have a look at the definition that came out of, in my place, it came out of Copilot. It said that passion is a sustained, meaningful energy directed towards something that matters to you. Now, that sounds a bit academic and theoretical to me, and for me, that doesn't really capture the essence of passion. But I'm going to put the question to the rest of you and ask you, what does passion mean for you? What is it? Who would like to go first?
I'll start with saying, for me, passion means it's something that lights you up. And it feels like it's something you want to do, and time you kind of just get into the flow, and time passes you by without realizing when you're um, doing a certain activity or whatever that you're passionate about.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I can go next. So basically, for me, passion is more like something that really drives you, really makes you get going without really thinking any consequences or anything like that comes your way. And that happens a lot to me because I like to do things with passion. So, for example, when I go to the gym, I feel very passionate about it. So some people would say, okay, I'm going to the gym, but I don't I feel the pain in my body, or having this comparison with other people, anything. But to me, that is really something that really I'm passionate about. So I see everything from for the gym, really entertaining, really keeps me forward. And like over the last almost 20 years now, like this passion is keep going. So it's really fun being passionate.
Excellent. And it sounds as though it actually drives itself from what you're saying. It's
Yeah,
actually going to the gym is something that makes you want to go more often.
indeed. It's so magical, like how something can get you really passionate about. And yeah, like in Greek, maybe some of you have heard already the term. It's called pathos. Pathos is basically the passion, which basically comes from the inside, like something that you really feel it. It's not Passion is not something just exciting, but
Mhm.
something more than that. Something
Mm,
that really makes you feeling it, comes
mm,
from within out.
Mm.
Great. Thank you. Maria, your thoughts?
Um, uh, One of the things that I realized in life is that there is not one truth, and what one sees as one thing is not necessarily what other think and thinks. So I don't know if one definition defines, what passion is, but at the same time, I can share only how I see things. And for me, passion is what drives for sure, what energizes me for sure, but what warms my heart, what gives me purpose, what lightens me, all of those things is the air in my heart and my lungs, right? Is what, makes me follow life in a happy way and a fulfilled way. So you can, define everything. What's important is to be aware of that, this is what I want,
Mm,
right?
mhm,
And this is who I am, and this is who I want to be, and this is what I want to do. And not all of us have the same aims or the same targets or the same ways how we do that or see that. Or some people are, afraid of energy and passion. Some, are full of energy and passion. Doesn't matter. I mean, in the end, what matters is, do we live the life we want? And do we do it the way that we want it? And passion is one of the ways to do it. And it's a choice.
Mhm.
And
So I see.
what is your passion?
Oh, I have many passions.
That's
I
brilliant.
have many passions. My kids are my passion. Helping people, changing the world is my passion. Enjoying cooking and dancing and so many things. And it can be from time to time something different. The point is not what, it's how I feel and
Yeah.
who I am at that moment when I feel this, feeling of, wow, I want to do that. I'm there.
Mhm.
Or sometimes my passion is to stay at home and read a book because it's so exciting. I want to read this book. And so, I mean, again,
Mm.
I would not, it's something that makes me alive, right? Or, do things. And I would not put a terminology. It's more of a feeling and way of choosing life. And I have to say, I'm grateful that I do have the opportunity to do that, right? Not everybody has that. And I think the most important is to be aware of it and be conscious of, this is what I want and this is what gives me energy and this is what I want to do. And I focus on that.
I really liked what you said about passion being different for everybody. And the fact that for you, it's a feeling. And that was really powerful.
Thank you.
Sandra, you told us of what you think passion is, but what makes you feel passionate?
Yeah, I'm a bit like Maria. I have many passions, and it also depends on my mood at the time, whether I feel like doing a certain thing or not. But the first sort of hobby that came into my life when I was, gosh, it was probably like 10 years ago now, is that I started to paint and really enjoy that. And I found my passion through art and through expressing myself through creative ways. And but I also enjoy other creative things sometimes, not just painting. Like I also enjoy uh, things like being in nature or going to the lake and seeing the beautiful mountains from where I am. And obviously, I have kids, and I am passionate about spending time with them and giving them the best that I can as a mother. But I wanted to make a point about what Maria said, feeling fortunate that you're able to spend a lot of time on your passion, whereas not everybody is. And I completely agree. Some people are in perhaps a job that they don't particularly feel passionate about. But I wanted to just say you can still bring passion into your life, even in those situations, by a change of mindset, perhaps by a change of attitude. And in your free time when you're not at work, you can still try to bring things you're passionate about into your life. And I think that somehow spreads into the rest of your life if you're able to do that. Because, yeah, let's face it, we can't all just drop our jobs and pursue our hobbies, and not everybody's in the position where they can pursue something other than what they're currently doing. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'm just saying you might not be able to do it now, but you can slowly bring in things that you're passionate about in other times, in other parts of your day or your week.
May I say something about that?
Sure.
I think sometimes we see passion as something, this is a really big kind of thing. But I think in the end, if it's a feeling, right, it actually comes from very small things in life, right? And as you also said, Sandra, it's a choice. It's a choice to see an awareness of, so what drives me? What makes me happy? What, drives Stephen goes to the gym. I mean, if you're passionate, you'll find your time.
Yeah.
If you like drawing, I mean, even in your desk, you can draw and do your passion while you're working on, I don't know, whatever. They don't take me wrong. I don't want to say that you're not paying attention to your work. But I think in the end, it's more of an awareness and what makes you happy and passionate and drives you, and it can be small. It doesn't have to be this big thing. It doesn't have to be, change the world, or maybe change the world one step at a time, or do small things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Alex, sorry to interrupt, but
No.
what are your passions?
Well, I was just going to say, I really liked what you said about, it may not be your job that's your passion, but it could be something else. And sometimes having a passion can actually impact more broadly on your life. And probably my biggest passion is open water swimming. And I'm sorry I bore everyone with this because it's something I absolutely love. And I've found that at times when I've been in a situation at work where I'm really not enjoying my job, the thing which has kept me sane is my swimming. And it's that chance to be in water, in nature. You have the opportunity to sort of challenge yourself. You have the opportunity to see amazing things when you swim. And whether it's swimming in the lake and you're just seeing the fish in the lake, or whether it's swimming in the ocean and you're seeing rays and all sorts of other things, it's really just an awesome, it's a really, it's an awesome experience. And for me, it lifts my soul. And that probably sounds a bit cheesy, but I feel lighter. It makes me feel lighter, and it makes me feel that I can cope with whatever is going on. And I'll find a way. So yeah, that's my passion.
Nice.
Thanks.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So you're basically saying that you're having a passion basically makes you find like a ways to cope with the day when the things are not like going as you really like to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was interesting because I was chatting to someone last evening, and they were saying how they're having such a tough time and they're really not enjoying what's happening in their workplace. And then he started talking about his cooking. And his body language changed and he became so animated, and he was telling me all about the things that he's been trying because he loves experimenting. And it was like talking to a completely different person. The change was just so significant.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think when it can impact on other parts of your life.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And
Still alive.
interesting how different we are, because I'm for sure not passionate about going to the gym. That's like I have to force myself.
You're all welcome.
Everything other than the gym, I will try to do.
Yeah, it really like wires us down to what we really like fulfill us in our lives. And like my question is, when having a passion is considered a privilege?
Wow.
That's a very good question, but may I say something?
Yep.
Good.
We are all unique. Completely, right? We, our, DNA or whatever, it's completely unique. And is this a privilege? Is it a privilege to know ourselves, what we want, what makes us passionate? I'm not answering. I'm just, trying to understand.
No.
I think everything is on the mind, how you think about it.
So you're basically saying that being or feeling unique, it shouldn't be a privilege. Having the passion as well.
I have a question, Stephen. Where did that question come from? And what was your thinking behind it?
Yeah, very good question. So sometimes in our lives, as for example in my situation, there were times where I was really passionate in doing something. For example, coaching. And, being in a journey of like getting certified, being a coach, it's kind of expensive, like a journey to go.
Mm.
But it still is a passion. Like I am very passionate about this type of job, like supporting, helping people, achieving their goal, having a meaningful purpose, meaningful life. And I would say that some people might not pursue their passion because their passion, at least in the way that they see it in that moment, can look very, very unapproachable, some that cannot be achieved. Whether that is like financially, whether that is the emotional state that they are in that moment, maybe they're not ready to accommodate that change. And yeah, sometimes like having a passion and following it, maybe you need some kind of braveness sometimes.
Yeah.
You bring a good point, but then
Mm.
that brings us back to the last point, right? The fear, what keeps us from being who we are and what we want to do.
Yeah.
And I will not put that a privilege. Maybe somebody can say, yeah, you're privileged because you have money, so you can drop your job and, count on whatever you have saved, right? But this is one way to see things. I think people that choose to live the life they want, they find their ways.
Mm.
I mean, Alex, I don't know about how she chose her, her job or whatever, but she found a way to, through her swimming with the South. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, she's swimming, across the lakes or oceans. If you are passionate about it, you find your means or your ways. We have a saying, right, that says, be afraid of what you are looking for and what you are passionate about, what you want, because eventually you'll get it. Because if there is something that you really, really want, you'll get it. You find the way, you find the means.
Yeah.
And that's where the passion comes. And the how?
Yeah.
That's really interesting, Maria, because it reminds me of a few years ago, and I was doing a swim in Australia, and literally a month, 2 months, 6 weeks before the swim, all sorts of things started to go wrong, and it was one thing after another. And there was a point where I was thinking, you know what, it would actually just be easier to give up, to say this is not going to happen. But I just knew I had to do that. And despite absolutely everything, despite the fact that I didn't have a boat, I didn't have a kayaker, I didn't think I'd done enough training, I managed to get everything together. I got my training done, I got the boat. I didn't get a kayaker, but it was actually okay. And it was actually the experience of that day was an amazing experience because I got to spend that day doing something I loved, spending the rest of the day with my family, which was just so incredibly, it was like a double gift, if I could put it that way.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What did you swim out of interest?
What did I swim?
How far did you swim?
Oh,
Yeah.
21.9 kilometers.
Wow.
Wow.
Impressive.
It was amazing weather. Everything was just perfect.
Yeah.
So I'm just keeping an eye on our time together, and there is one last question that I want to ask you, and that is, what happens if we don't have passion in our lives?
We don't have, or we don't follow.
We don't have. So that may be that you don't follow it, or you choose not to follow it, or
Are there
you just
people
haven't
without
found it.
passion? I don't know.
Yeah, interesting question. If the
Yeah.
I mean, we can all only speak for ourselves, right? Whether you have
Correct.
passion, we have passion in certain things, we choose to follow it at times, but not always, because that also takes courage. Sometimes it
Correct.
takes courage to follow a passion and to leave that's something that feels safe and to follow a passion, whether it be in a job, whether it be as a hobby. Alex is swimming, it still takes courage. But whether there are some people that don't have passion for anything or not, I can't answer that question.
I wouldn't be able to answer this one as well, but I think again, I will just say it's up to us, right? It's up to us to figure out how we want to live our lives. If it's okay for some people, maybe they are too shy or too modest, or they love to be isolated, or they think they have no passion because it's not something grandiose and big. It could be, I don't know, some person that lives alone and works in the garden. I mean, gardening
Of course,
is
yeah.
a huge passion, but they don't consider it because it's the default. They do it themselves, but they know so many things about it and can tell you. I think it's a matter of perspective. And what do you think life is passion or not?
Mm.
I mean, for me, the only question is how aware are we of, how we want to lead and live our lives? And passion is part of it. You just have to name it. And how you name it again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Stephen, any last thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, there are things I believe, at least in my life, that you do them not with passion. Whether that is, let's say, in the past you're doing like 9 to 5, like your job or something, or even if you had passion in the beginning and then you kind of like were losing the passion later on, and actually you do have passion eventually. So when that happens, it really like stops your motivation, stops who you are being in that moment, because you don't really have a passion for that thing. So to answer your question, yes, when there is no passion, I think there is no continuation of who you are being in that moment.
Sandra, any final thoughts?
No, I mean, I do think everybody has a passion, and it's just about perhaps finding it. Some people may have a passion and just not have discovered exactly how passionate they are about something yet. But it takes time, and it's a journey.
Great. Thank you. So I think we've had a great discussion, and I think we've had some really interesting ideas about the fact that passion is something which is very individual to each one of us. And it's something which we actually have, in many cases, not all, but in many cases, we have a choice about. So that wraps up our third podcast. Thank you very much for joining us. And if you have any feedback you'd like to give us, or if you've got any suggestions of what you'd like to hear us discuss, please drop it into the comments. We look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye-bye.